Thanks, Vikki. Thanks for having me. The Decorative Concrete Council was formed in the 80s. It was a group of manufacturers when decorative was really starting to come into its own. And they wanted to kind of organize the manufacturers and the contractors and get a group together. And they found a home with the ASCC. So they formed a group. And now, though, the DCC is a full-fledged council. They have their own elected board of directors. And then we have a group of manufacturers and contractors, of course, who do that kind of work, who belong. And they have all their own publications. They do community projects. They do demonstrations at our events. So they have a lot of their own types of projects and networking events and those kinds of things that are strictly about decorative concrete.
There were multiple awards given out last night in 13 categories, I believe. Can you tell me about one or two that really stuck out for you?
Sure. It's interesting because when people used to think about decorative and when it started, it was some coloring concrete, and then it was stamped concrete. That was big for a long time. Then they started staining. So I think a lot of people still think about that when they think about decorative. They think about pool decks, some sidewalks, maybe some patios, that kind of thing. Now, folks at this show are a little bit more educated about decorative, but that's kind of the standard thing that you thought about with decorative. Well, last night, we saw everything from vaulted ceilings to multi-story buildings to bedroom floors. Of course, we had the patios and walkways and sidewalks and that kind of thing. But we saw this, the transformation of the San Diego airport, for instance, a huge project. We saw polished floors in environmental centers and in retail, a lot of nice retail stores. We saw beautiful residential things inside and out. We saw a huge building on the UCLA campus that was architectural concrete with amazing reveals. We saw countertops in very modern homes, that incorporate wood and sinks and all kinds of finishes into them. We saw aggregate and embeds that glow in the dark and that fade from light to dark. Just amazing things. So, I mean, there are projects certainly that stand out just from the precision of the work, the care and the timing that goes into it, the site challenges that go into some of the things. There was a sedimentary wall at a center in San Diego that the students really use as a teaching tool to study the geology of San Diego. So, you put all those embeds, they put fossils, they put rocks, they put all those real materials into concrete, and it's used as a teaching tool. Then you've got the floor of a bedroom that's, and you've got there was a dental office where there's animals in the floor, and the kids come in and they put on their 3D glasses and they look at the octopuses and the turtles and they kind of forget that they're at the dentist's office. Just amazing things from one range of the spectrum to the other that you just, 20 years ago we would never have fathomed that could be done in decorative concrete.